Hello, guys, and welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. I'm your host, Alex Whiteley, and joining me today is Cerin Mills, who spoke to us last time about Art Alive, but today we're speaking about the Hive. This is it was a nice surprise to find out. I mean, how long have you been working with the Hive for, Cerin?
Good morning, Alex.
Hello.
I started officially in January when the Chief Executive Officer, Katie Jennings, went off to have her baby, a little girl that she had in January. I'd done a bit of a handover with Katie from sort of late September, October. But yeah, took on the official role, and I'm job sharing with Kev Cody, who's chair of the trustees of the Hive. So he and I are acting interim chief executive officers of a really fantastic organisation, and I couldn't be more thrilled to be, squeezing that bit in alongside my Arts Alive work. So yeah, it's great.
I love the Hive so much. It is well beloved by many in Shrewsbury for what they do. Taking young minds and giving not just giving them a spot to sort of get a bit of respite from life, but also to hone in on those talents that they should definitely be toying around with at the moment. But of course, last time I spoke to Olivia was way before sort of COVID. But everything sort of stopped for you guys at the Hive. I mean, I know that's you kind of stepped into that position whilst it was all happening. What's it been like for many of the people working at the Hive not being able to get out there and do what they normally do?
Well, it's been very interesting and challenging in different ways, I think, COVID, for a lot of people. The Hive closed its doors on about the 17th of March last year, but by the 7th of April, we were up and running with projects on a digital platform. So rather than face-to-face, we had our amazing project managers, Sal and Olivia, with the help of Tom, who's one of our administrators, had managed to segue all those participants that we're doing a whole range of creative work with our artists into a digital platform, mostly Zoom, which seems to have worked very well for the last year. And there's been some really surprising outcomes through the continuation of the workshops, which for many, many young people has been a bit of a lifeline, it has to be said. But no, I'm immeasurably proud of the way in which the Hive staff and artists have just kind of almost seamlessly carried on work regardless. So, it proves that we're more than just a building. The building helps, and it's a great building. And I'll describe some of the things that's going to be, people will see different when we reopen our doors on the 1st of July, I would like to announce.
1st of July. Wow, that's fantastic.
Well, we hope so. We're being perhaps a little bit ambitious, but if if Boris's roadmap pans out and by the 21st of June all restrictions are lifted, I do not see any reason why we can't go back to using the Hive and using the Hive venue. But yeah, as I say, over the last 12 months now, we've been delivering a really varied and ambitious programme of artistic workshops. Pottery via Zoom. Lots
How's
of
that go? How do you do pottery by Zoom? How does that work?
Amazing. Well, again, you see, the creativity of our project managers and the artists is extraordinary. So materials have been sent out to participants. So on their doorstep has arrived whatever they might need to be able to take part in the workshop. So there's been pottery, creative writing, stop frame animation, music. Our Mike Music project has just gone on. And in fact, so much so, we've had to introduce a second group. We've been working with Telford Young Carers. We've been doing just regular weekly creative workshops for a whole wide range of participants, including under fives. Our Parachutes project has continued working with families who are centred around the Elim Church in Shrewsbury, and Buzzy Beats, which is our regular Friday sort of singing and interacting with Mary Keith, amazing artist Mary Keith. That has just kept going online. So she's been delivering that on Facebook Live, and families have been able to just join in at home. So I'm really proud of it. It has worked. It has surpassed all expectations, really. And I think it's a credit to the artists that have been delivering that they've been able to adapt their practice to sit so nicely on a digital platform. It's been amazing.
Nice. Nice. Would you say you've been able to help more people, in fact, actually on the digital platform then?
I think it's been helping people differently. If you, I mean, you're aware of our work, Alex, but an awful lot of the participants that we work with are referrals. So perhaps a family member has referred them, or a social worker has referred them to some of our work, to some of our workshops, with a view to supporting and helping their health and well-being.
Hmm.
And particular at this time, their mental health and well-being. And I'm just going to caution you. My dog has got a squeaky toy, so
It's
if that
fine.
becomes a problem, I'll take it out of her
Honestly,
mouth.
dogs are allowed on the biscuit. They're welcome. That's fine.
Hey, yeah, for some of those participants who perhaps found walking into a room a little bit difficult with groups of have the safety of their bedroom and being behind a screen, and then warming to that forum and being able to chat to people with a little bit of a shield for themselves, I think has really brought some people out of themselves.
Yes.
And we've found contributions which we might not normally have had face to face from some individuals. But I kid you not, Alex. We have had feedback from parents of some of these young people who have said this has genuinely been a lifeline. Without these workshops going through COVID, I worry for my son or my daughter or my sister. It's the people who have referred the young folk to us that have been making these comments, and that's priceless, isn't it? We're really,
I think
really
it is
proud of that.
because what do you do when you don't have something like this to fall back on and to use away from your schoolwork and what have you? So, like, okay, so all day you're staring at a screen on Zoom classes, or you're doing your homework via the internet or on Teams, or however people have been doing their work for school, and then after that you go and you sit on the Xbox or the PC or something like that all day because you can't go out with your mates. It can't be great. It can't be great to be doing that all the time.
No.
So to have
And
something that you can actually get something out of is actually beautiful. I think it's yeah,
Yeah, and I think you need to remember quite a lot of our participants aren't school age, so they're slightly older,
yeah.
but also they might be, for whatever reason, school refusers, or be suspended from school, or in between sort of school and college. An amazing project that we're running at the moment, which is called My College, and it's an alternative kind of curriculum for young folk who, for whatever reason, haven't found college suits them. So that's where we've been running things like pottery and different tasters so that people can gain new skills and confidence in their own ability. And yet it's not a formal college course as such.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, we spoke to the guys from Smash Life recently, and they're fantastic because we talked a lot about how young people cannot be treated like a number. You can't treat them like a statistic, right? So places like the Hive are fantastic because you're like, okay, you've got an individual skill here, use it. Like, what can you do? I mean, you might not be good at the pottery, but you might be good at the creative writing, or you might be able to write a
Exactly.
song, or
Yeah.
you know,
I think the variety of our offer always means that we can find something for someone to access, which they inevitably become immensely good at. The
yeah.
stop frame animation, a lot of people who are quite technical have really excelled with that and have thoroughly enjoyed that process. It's been amazing.
I look at the process for stop play animation, and I probably would go insane after the first few frames. I'd be like, oh, it looks like I'll be too impatient. So yeah, hats off to anybody that can do something like that. Amazing work.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Do you think you'll be going forward? Do you think you'll be keeping on a lot of the virtual events as well as the physical ones? Even say COVID disappears completely, right?
Yeah.
That's very
Well,
optimistic.
we're going to undertake a little process of kind of consultation, asking our artists, our staff, and our participants. I mean, obviously, right up until July, and during July, we'll still be running workshops
Yeah, of
online.
course.
We probably won't be delivering any face to face activity until the summer holidays. So our kind of regular weekly offer won't, at the very earliest, won't come back to being face to face until the autumn. By which point we'll have gauged enough opinion, I think, as to what's going to suit people best. And I imagine, but this is just my thoughts, my own thoughts about it, that it will be a bit of a blended offer. So there'll be an opportunity to come face to face if they wish to, or to access the Zoom workshop if they would rather. And obviously that's in a way much more accessible because it means no transport's required, and no relying on someone to do that transporting if you're not a driver or haven't got access to a vehicle. So I suspect we'll be looking at a bit of both, to be honest. But for all of us, I think we are missing the human contact. Um, Zoom is great as far as it goes, but nothing beats being all together in a room as a band, with your vocalist up there, your bass player, your percussionist, and keyboard, and everyone just playing together. I mean, apart from anything else, that doesn't really work on Zoom because it becomes out of sync. You can't
Yeah.
actually sing all together on
Yeah.
Zoom. So I think to be able to do those kind of things together again would be absolutely amazing, and people will relish that. We will be running a drama program during the summer. So Lisa Morris, who's one of the tutors for Shropshire Youth Theatre, she will be running some drama and theatre skills sessions for beginners, for juniors, and for seniors. We will have band building workshops. We'll have our own projects carrying on through the summer when we reopen. So there will be something for everyone to get back involved with. And our regular folk gigs will restart again. The jazz nights will start again. Our life drawing classes, all of these things that are kind of our statutory offer will keep going again once we reopen, which is wonderfully exciting.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And we're doing stuff. Can I tell you what we're doing?
Yeah, please do. Yeah, I'd love to discuss that.
Thank you. So basically, while we've been closed, it's been a really good opportunity to look at the space and how it works and upgrading. So we have been pouring some resources, both financially and in terms of people time, into upgrading the lighting and the sound projection facilities in our studio space. So for those of you that don't know the Hive, we have it's a bit of a TARDIS. The front door, it just looks like a door. As you go through, you realise from that sort of Georgian facade that it's the most extraordinary space within there. So you come in through the front door, and to the right-hand side, there's the office of Dash, Disability Arts Shropshire, who rent an office space from us, and we are delighted to have their presence in our building. And you move through there into a kind of open foyer space, which has got a gallery, which could also double as a bit of a chill out space come cafe. We've got a small cafe bar. We are recreating and redeveloping the garden and putting a roof on part of it. So that will be an external space that could be used. Because of COVID, obviously, we're looking for ways in which we can have more kind of air circulation. We have our own office space for Hive staff and for Shropshire Inclusive Dance, who have desks with us. We are looking at, and I'd be interested in your view on this one actually, Alex, we'll come back to it. We are looking at making our toilets gender neutral. I think in this day and age where we are living with people who don't identify as male or female, we probably are doing them a disservice by only having gender specific toilets, and it certainly is the way that a lot of public buildings are going, that they would be unisex for want of a better word, or gender neutral as we prefer to call them. So we're looking at making some alterations to the loos. We've then got our sound studio, which is a music room but will enable young people to be in our main studio space, which is a 100-seater big square studio, to be presenting work in there and then directly recording it and laying down a track which could go straight out live on the internet in the music room. So that is in the music studio. So that's getting an upgrade. We've got a new room, which used to be a kind of media suite. We used to do some VJing work in there and video work, but everything really has gone so high tech and digital. We've not kept up with that level of tech, and we don't need to. We can run that kind of workshop with artists and with that equipment, but we don't need to have it all there. So we've recommissioned a room which is now going to be more of another multiple use workshop space, and we have a lovely meeting room which is available for hire. So we've been touching up the paint, we've been filling holes and cracks, we've been redecorating, we've been putting new flooring, we've got a lovely new touch sensitive front door which brings you into the building, which is long overdue for in terms of access point of view. So I think when people come back into the Hive, they'll see some noticeable changes, a refresh, I think. It's
Yeah,
probably a good word to use.
yeah. I think that's all sounds fantastic. The gender neutral bathrooms, by the way, I think it's a great move. By the way, it's moving with the times. I've never had any problems with that.
No,
Um,
absolutely. I mean, I think some people do struggle with it slightly, but I think if that's what's presented and that's what there is, then that's what people use, don't they? So, and
yeah.
can I share with you a really exciting commission that we're putting
Yes,
out there?
please do. Yeah.
So in our garden space, it's a lovely little internal courtyard, and it's got a kind of really big wall. It's nearly 4 meters wide by nearly 3 meters high, which is currently just painted white. It was many moons ago a lovely piece of graffiti art by artist Matt Sewell, who's gone on to do amazing commissions elsewhere and is a great artist in his own right. But we got permission from Matt to paint over his work, and we are now looking for a young person between age 16 and 25 to produce a mural in our garden space. And we want to work with a young. Want to just press pause a minute?
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. I can. Can you?
Is that all right? Sorry, I think that might be some recap.
Yes. Let's recap. So you're talking about the wall that's painted white in the garden of
Yeah.
this commission.
Yeah, so we're looking for a Shropshire-based artist, and we're particularly interested in applications from young people who are quite at an early stage of their creative career. But we have got a theme. So the Hive's kind of ambition and business plan kind of aim or our vision is to support thriving creative communities. So we'd like the artists to interpret that in whichever way they like, thriving creative communities. Any artistic style, it can be an abstract piece, it could be illustrative, but we like bold, we like striking colours. And in some way, we would hope that they would incorporate the two kind of key brand colours for the Hive, which is blue and orange.
Mhm.
So apart from that, entirely up to them and their artistic response. What they would then get back is money for the materials to produce the mural and an additional £150 in vouchers for art materials for themselves. A great chance to develop their portfolio of work, lots of professional photos of the mural, loads of social media around it, and an artwork, a big artwork on permanent display in a city centre venue. So it's kind of a really nice opportunity, I think.
Yeah. Huge.
It would need to be painted next month. So we're asking people to submit. I'll tell you what it is we'd like them to submit by the 22nd of March. So not much longer to go, but still time for people to think about it. And if the young person's not able to physically do that painting themselves, we will make sure that we can find someone to support their nominated design and make sure it happens according to what they have envisaged. COVID, of course, we've got to be really mindful of people's safety, and they'll be on site just with one other member of staff in the building, working outside from a health and safety point of view. And we'd ask that the artist wears their mask all the time when they're in the building and sanitises hands and observes 2 metre distance, because strictly speaking, we are closed. But that's how we will also protect this young artist, because there'll be nobody else around. They'll be working on their own. So if someone is interested, what we'd like them to do is to send a maximum of 500 words, or if they don't like writing, they can do a little video, but again, keeping it to about 500 words, telling us about themselves, about their practice, about some previous experience, why they like this opportunity, and what the concept for the mural is. And then we'd like them to just attach a little sketch or mock up the mural as they see it, and put a list of materials in so that we know what sort of things that they're thinking of using for it. After the 22nd of March, we've got a Hive trustee and a local artist, and our marketing manager and designer will be the little panel that's going to look at applications. And then we'll let all applicants know, which obviously includes the successful mural artist. But if any support is required, we can provide that. We just need to know that when people apply, because we want this to be very inclusive for anyone that has any ideas and would like that idea realised. So yeah, people just need to get in touch. marketing@hiveonline.org.uk, and that is where the submissions should go. All the
I
details are on our website as well.
I think that is an amazing opportunity for any artist out there just to have their art. I mean, just to have it there on a big wall where lots of people hopefully soon will be congregating, and lots of media coverage around it. That's the payment right there. That is amazing. So the fact that you're giving them the vouchers as well, that's fantastic. So yeah, please get in touch with that. Any young sort of person out there
Yeah,
could be
it's
found the new
been such a
Banksy.
challenge. It's such a yeah, that'd be exciting, wouldn't it? It's been such a challenging year, and there hasn't been the same kind of opportunities as there
No.
would have normally been for practicing art. So this is a great one, I think, really, really great, and we welcome any applications.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm so glad that you guys have been able to function through all of this, and not just function, but flourish by the sounds of it. Because, like we're saying, mental health is a huge problem anyway. Never mind someone that's been told to technically go stay in their room. It's daunting. And how are you going to sort of approach the whole? Because I've kind of guessed at the fact that there's going to be lots of anxiety when it comes to getting back out in the world. Okay, so we can all sit and talk on Zoom as much as we like, but as soon as we get back into groups of people, it's going to be like, okay, this isn't what I signed up for. This is a bit weird.
Yeah, I mean, like I said to you, in terms of that transition back to face, it will probably follow the same process. I mean, we were forced to do it last March,
Yeah.
whereas we're choosing to do it now, or in July, August. So we will be consulting with everybody that we currently work with to make sure that that transition from Zoom back to face is as seamless as possible, and also make those necessary adaptations for people who haven't been in the building for ages, or actually might never have been in the building. Their
Yeah.
experience of working with us could have just been in this last year, and they've never been in the Hive.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have an open day on Friday, the 2nd of July. So we open on the 1st, which is a Thursday. On Friday the 2nd, we're just going to have open doors, and anybody is welcome to just come in and have a good old nose around, walk around, see the spaces, feel very comfortable, have cake, lots of cake, and
Cake.
and see the new mural, of course. We're also going to have a fantastic art exhibition. A couple of members of staff, Olivia and Tom, are going to be organising an open call for local artists, to present work for an exhibition in our gallery. I think they're thinking that the theme will be positivity. We're really, really going for this kind of celebratory, positive angle, as I'm sure so many organisations will be. And then the weekend of the 4th and 5th of July, we'll be doing some events in the town square, which result in a sort of processional walk back to the Hive. So you might have been engaged with us and with an artist and doing some making in the square, and then you'll process back, because it's not very far, is it? And it's mostly pedestrianised, probably across the graveyard by Old St Giles, and into the Hive building, and looking at djembe, drumming workshops, perhaps some samba. Shrewsbury Bid are working with us because they obviously want people to come back into Shrewsbury, and so they've asked us to run some workshops with artists in the square, and their theme largely, I think, around the Darwin kind of idea is animals. Well, that's a fantastic one, isn't it? You can do so many things with that theme.
Yeah.
So we will be commissioning artists to run workshops for the general public in the square, and then process and proceed and promenade back to the Hive, where again there will be other workshops going on throughout that whole weekend.
Maybe the Biscuit could come We set up a table. I was thinking about this anyway when you were talking about the garden space you've got, or when things open. We do this thing once a month called the Open Studio Sessions. We don't have a studio anymore. We're not on the parade anymore. We were because we don't need it. We're doing everything over Zoom normally, unless we go to an event, right? So I was thinking maybe these open studios we speak to sort of like sort of 6 or 7 people during the one day. So we'll do an interview, then another interview, then another interview. I was thinking maybe we could set up one day at the Hive, bam, and just have people come in and do our interviews, because anybody can join us.
That
That'd be
would be
quite nice.
lovely, of course. 100%, Alex. Let's work on that.
Yeah,
Um,
I'd like
I'd
that.
be delighted. I mean, certainly we'd like to point the mural artists your way to have a conversation once their
Yes,
work is up. That would make a really nice tie-in, wouldn't it, from this date to then?
we love speaking to
And
artists.
yeah,
I'm speaking to Luke Crump after this. We're going to be straight after. We're going to be speaking to him, another local artist. It's always good to get inside the mind of an artist, just to see what's going on up there. So
yeah. I
um,
think just to reiterate, sorry, to go back a little tiny bit with the mural commission. The age thing is really important because 16 to 25, we have had some parents of 15-year-olds get in touch and saying, oh, this would be perfect for my son or my daughter or whatever. But because of safeguarding and because of us not being able to provide a chaperone for this young person to work on their own, they need to be 16. They need to be 16 or over. So I wanted to just emphasize that point. For anyone out there who thinks that their 15-year-old would be perfect. I'm sure that 15-year-old would be perfect. And for those young people, Shrewsbury Bid have got a great offer, which you'll find on their website, which is about designing some flags to hang around the town centre. So they're looking for other artists to create some work that will hang off lampposts and things like that. So at the moment, there are some things that people who are young artists can absolutely engage with and get involved with, which is brilliant.
yeah, amazing. There's so much being aimed at creativity and, like you said, positivity, because this is what we need to celebrate, right? That this thing has happened. Yet the geniuses and the heroes in the labs have come up with this vaccine that's opened up the world again. We need to celebrate that, and then we got our independence and our freedom back. Because ultimately, that's what this is all about. So I'd love to see a lot of beautiful, bright, colourful art sort of coming out this year to celebrate that.
Definitely.
I love the Hive. I think it's fantastic, and I don't think I've done enough with the Hive. I think I've recorded there before. A while ago, we did a great interview with Charlie Adlard and some of the greatest comic book designers in the UK who came, and we all sat in a big table. A load of us. There was must be over a dozen of us, all sat together in the same room doing an interview. Remember them days? We did this great interview. The Hive is amazing, especially where the work you do with audio work and media. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for any young people.
Yeah, we've got a new project called Hidden Waterways, which is rather nice. So this is Heritage Lottery funded. Lots of opportunities for people of all generations to get involved. And it's exploring in particular Shrewsbury Canal and the history of that, and working with a number of artists over a full 12 months. So yeah, look out for that. I think there's going to be some really great things for people to get involved with around our Hidden Waterways project.
I spoke to Olivia about that a while ago.
Yeah,
this has been a long time coming, hasn't it?
It has, and we are now ready to launch. So it's good, really good.
I'd love to hear more about that when we've got a bit more time. I know you've got a busy schedule today, though, and likewise, it's one of those at the moment that the world is opening at the moment, and everybody's like, and my emails are ping, 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 ping. Everybody wants to come on the biscuit and sort of talk about what they're doing, which is amazing. I love that.
Great.
But
thanks ever so much for your time this morning, Alex. Really appreciate it.
I love chatting to you. I love talking to you, and anything that we can help you with the biscuit, we would absolutely love to.
Totally up for you coming to do a live kind of broadcast from us. That would be amazing. We've got some young people that have been doing all kinds of podcast work, so I mean they might like to come and talk to you about what they've been doing as well. So we'll set that up for the minute that we're all allowed to be back in there. That would be brilliant.
It's amazing how podcasts are taking off, right? I mean, I remember stand up. It was a meeting with the Bid, but the Darwin Festival. This is the first one we did, and I stood up in front of loads of people that never met me before, and be like, "I'm a podcaster. You don't know anything about podcasts, but soon you will." Now everybody's doing a podcast, and it's amazing how we can all communicate in that way and talk.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, no, really good. Really, really good. Great. Well, all the best to you. Have a great day.
Before you get out of here, tell people where they can get in touch with the Hive, and if they want to donate or get involved.
Sure, absolutely. We have our website. If you just Google Hive, you'll find us straight away there. As far as the outdoor mural commission is concerned, send your submissions to marketing@hiveonline.org.uk. Or phone us, leave a message. However you want to communicate with us,
Messenger
we are there.
pigeon.
Just get in touch. Yeah, I was going to say that. And I thought, oh well, that's tweet us, message us on Facebook, look at our Instagram. We're all over everywhere. You'll find us. Get in touch. Great to have more folk involved from the summer onwards.
Well, I'll let you get on with your day. Thank you so much for joining me, Cerin. And guys, make sure you check out our website too, which is the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast.co.uk, made for us by our friends at Web Orchard. If you need a website, make sure you check them out. They're great at doing what they do. We have lots coming up at the moment. Look out for the open studio sessions. Look out for the virtual market showcase, which we do live every 2 weeks on Facebook. A great way to showcase what's the great independent traders of Shrewsbury. We love doing that, and we thank everybody for your support recently, especially through lockdown. We've been doing lots of great things, and the world is going to open soon. If you do want to get in touch with us and you do want to take part in the show, or you want to put us somewhere so we can advertise what you're doing, set us up in the town square on a table. I don't care. If you want to do that, get in touch with us, please, because we're well interested in that. Cerin, thank you again for joining us. It's been amazing to talk to you. And
Thanks,
we'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. Thank you very much for listening to us.